I'm Michael Surkan, and this is podcasting, the indispensable tool for building relationships. You can find all my podcast shows at www.surkan.com. That's surkan.com. And you can also contact me through my website, surkan.com, if you're interested in learning more about podcasts or getting some assistance. We're going to talk about what podcasts are, why they're useful, why they can help you with your career and growing your business, and how to do them. Podcasts are actually very simple. They're nothing more than a recorded conversation. You talk with somebody, you record the conversation, and you put it on the internet. It's talk radio for the internet. Podcasts can be embedded anywhere. When you can put a link to your podcast on any web page, and from any browser, a user can just click the play button and they're listening to the conversation. When you think about podcasting, you have to ask yourself this: how much is it worth to meet the people you want to know? Because podcasting flips internet marketing on its head. This is about micro-marketing. You're going to target the individuals that you want to know. The principle of podcasting is that 10 friends are better than 100,000 clicks. It's far better to have deep business relationships with a handful of people than to have thousands of anonymous clicks going to your website. Having an audience is almost beside the point. The real audience in a podcast is the person you're interviewing. That is the person you're building a relationship with, and that's why you do podcasts. Podcasts are an incredible gift that act as a tool to open doors. People want to be interviewed. Interviewing somebody for a podcast and giving them this gift will create feelings of goodwill. And a podcast is a gift that's best when freely given. This isn't about asking someone for a job. This isn't about trying to sell your product line to a potential customer. This is about giving someone a gift of a podcast, a recorded interview on the internet that they can give to their friends, that they can show off, that showcases them and their business. And by giving, you will be able to reap great rewards. The guests who you interview on podcasts will become the friends who want to help you. The guests that you interview will promote you because they want to tell everyone about the podcast that they were in. They will promote the podcasts on their websites. They'll tweet it to their networks. They'll put it on their Facebook page. And in so doing, they're promoting you as well. And you're going to be learning from these conversations, because when you talk with someone, you're going to be asking about their business and what they do, and you're going to be learning a lot about what really matters to that industry, that company. And in the end, you're going to become an authority and an expert from all this knowledge that you've gained, as well as the endorsements that you get from all these other industry professionals. And you're going to have a portfolio of many podcasts that shows that you are someone to be reckoned with in your field. Every job seeker and sales or marketing professional needs to have their own podcast show. I'll go so far as to say that there is no more effective method of building deep professional relationships than podcasting. Sure, there are other ways to meet people. There are other ways to have conversations, but I'm biased, of course, but I would argue that there's nothing that's more effective than podcasting, because at the end of the day, what do you want to have to build a relationship? A deep, meaningful conversation. Podcasting delivers that. And it's as easy as talking. If you can take the time to talk with someone, you can do a podcast. There's cheap and simple hosting services available for putting your podcasts on the internet. You can record phone conversations easily. I use Skype and some free add-ons that automatically generate MP3 files when I talk with people. And there's also inexpensive digital audio recorders if you want to meet face-to-face and record your conversation in person. And the objective is to talk. It's to have that conversation and get to know someone. That's what it's all about. There's 3 simple steps to building a relationship. First, you contact the person you want to meet. Next, you're going to have a conversation with them. You're going to talk and record that conversation and put it on your website. And then you're going to give them the gift of this podcast, the link to your show, or to the interview that this guest was participated in. You don't have to have lots of connections to get started. In fact, podcasting works so well that it's ideal for people who don't have a large Rolodex to start off. You can join any LinkedIn group that interests you, or any group, frankly, on any networking website or community. You find members that you want to know. If you join a group about intellectual property law, look for who's making interesting comments and conversations in that group. And on LinkedIn, you can see their whole profile and find the people who you would like to know. And it doesn't take very long of looking around a group that you join on LinkedIn to see who are some really interesting people that that are really important for you to know. And then you just email them these interesting people an invitation. Ask them if they would like to be a guest on your show. And 9 times out of 10, they will say yes. Guest invitations for your podcast show can even be icebreakers at networking events. If you're at that Rotary Club or Chamber of Commerce meeting and mixer, you can tell someone that you're so excited about their business you'd love to interview them for your podcast show on local entrepreneurs. Everyone will say yes to that. This is such a flattering opportunity that you're giving them. And then you're going to have a conversation. You're going to talk with this person for the podcast. You're going to interview them. And the interview for the podcast is all about your guest. This is not an opportunity. This is not the place to ask for a job. It's not the place to give a sales pitch for your product line. This is to ask your guest what's important to them and their business. What are the exciting opportunities they are pursuing? What are the challenges they would like to overcome? Of course, you've got to be curious. You have to think of some good questions to ask. And just having a general sense of interest in other people is going to help. And it's something that you can foster. And when you're finished talking with the individual and you have that recorded conversation, now you're going to publish it. You do a little editing of your conversation. There's some simple audio editing tools out there, Audacity, Record for All, which I use mostly. You can add an intro with some music and a title for your show and some outro with music as well. You write a catchy title and description, about just 1 paragraph long, talking about what the show is, and you put it on your website. Now you can make a gift and thank the person who you interviewed. Send them an email telling them how appreciative you are that they took the time to talk with you for the podcast. Include the link in your email for the podcast as well. Now, write a recommendation on LinkedIn for this person. Talk about how Sally was so impressive with her knowledge of the intellectual property law space. And now you have a new best friend. Sally is going to love you to death. You've given her a recommendation. You've given her a podcast. You are now, through these podcasts and through giving this wonderful gift, you are building a good set of friends who will want to help you. And I'd love to give a helping hand as well. You can find more advice on creating podcast shows on my website, and you can get in touch with me on my website as well, www.surkan.com.